Hi everyone! So as part of Sisters in Shape Adventures in Competing, I just wanted to do a bit of a post-competition recap. So it's no real topic this week, just my thoughts on the competition and the off season and what I'm going to be doing for the next little while. So it's Sunday, the week after the competition, so 8 days since I competed, and I'm feeling really good. That's a significant change from last year, and it has a bunch of factors, but one of them is definitely the support and the community that I've got online, and all the learning that's happened over the last year has really improved the way I feel about health and about fitness competitions, and I just am in a much better place this year. But let's get some of the details of the competition out of the way first and foremost. So I was competing in 2 categories this year. Last year I did fitness model only, which is a category exclusive to Ultimate Fitness Events, which is the organization I competed with. This year I did fitness model and figure, but my heart was really in figure. That's the one I was really focused on. I did a lot of posing practice for it, and I built my body for the purpose of figure. I was focusing on musculature and presenting my body in a way that would be geared towards figure. And I am really proud of myself. I came in 3rd place in figure, so I made the podium, and I qualified for the Elite Show, which is next week, part of the North American Championships with UFE. I was planning on doing that show if I qualified. However, circumstances changed a little bit recently. I found out I'm going to be starting a new job, and I felt like trying to start a new job, trying to end off an old one, and do peak week would probably be too much stress. So I decided to just take it easy, start my reverse diet, start going into the off season, and focus on my transition in this other aspect of my life, and build up and start making a plan for next year where I plan to take the Elite Show by storm. In fitness model, I came in 7th, which is a big improvement on last year, and I'm actually very happy with, because when I look at the pictures, I kind of look like a giant compared to some of the other girls. Part of that has to do with my height, but a lot of that has to do with the fact that I was deliberately building up a lot of musculature for the figure category. And while fitness model is a lot of muscle, I have a big frame and a lot of muscle. And I'm not really built for that category. I'm built for figure, and that's really where I'm going to go, and it's going to be my focus for next year. So let's get into a little bit of what's happened over the last week, because I think that the first few days and even the first week after a competition can be really tough on a lot of people, and some people go through post-competition blues, which I definitely did last year. One, I was really disappointed with my placing. I placed 15th last year, and 2, I had been dieting for a really long time, which I've mentioned before, and I think I just kind of was in this state where I felt like I had earned eating whatever I wanted, and kind of had a free-for-all mentality, and didn't want to go to the gym, and didn't have very much energy, and I was eating things for the sake of eating them. Like, I would use honey in things for no reason, or add maple syrup to something and have chocolate and whatever it was. I would have the full fat version, full sugar version, full calorie version of everything, just because I wasn't on a diet. And it's a really unhealthy mentality to take, and takes a really big toll on your body when you flip a switch from contest dieting to I'm going to eat all the junk food that I can possibly get my hands on, especially right after Halloween when all of the candy is on sale. You can imagine how that went. I gained weight rapidly, I did reel it in relatively quickly, but then Christmas came up, and of course there's lots of cookies and cakes and delicious food. So last year after my competition, I gained 10 pounds back relatively quickly, and then another 5 to 10, which kind of fluctuated throughout the year in the month after that, and kind of maintained that throughout the year. I did build a lot of muscle last year, so not all of that was fat, but a lot of it was. And this year, I don't have that same mentality. And like I mentioned, that kind of comes from the sense of community, but also a lot from the learning, and too from feeling like I am in a better position. I'm really happy with my placings this year. I feel like I brought a really good package to the stage, and if I didn't have this other stuff going on in my life, I definitely would have gone after the elite show, and just taking this as more of a lifestyle and not just a means to an end has really put me in a better position this time around, where I had for probably the first 2 days. So right after the show, I had ice cream from Cold Stone Creamery, which is delicious and I love. And the day after, I ate as much as I wanted, but mostly clean. And then for dinner, I had kind of a cheat meal epicness that was delicious. It was a massive serving of nachos and guacamole, followed by far too much ice cream. Again, I love ice cream. And then on Monday, I was humming and hawing between doing the elite show, and I ate mostly clean throughout the day. And then I got home, I decided I wasn't doing the elite show, and so I had a bit more food than I was planning on, and you know, a little bit of chocolate and some other things, but like nothing too crazy. And then I just went right back to clean eating. And now I'm in reverse diet mode. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about my plan for the off season, because I think it's really important to have one. You go from being so structured in your contest prep to not having to do anything. You should plan and be on like you are during contest prep, or not to the same degree, but to some extent. But because you don't have this deadline, it tends to kind of fall to the wayside. And I think it's really important to make sure that you have a plan in place, ideally before you step on stage, but if not, in the few days afterwards, you can still kind of come up with one. And I really like Layne Norton's approach to reverse dieting, where you slowly add back carbs and fats. So for the most part, you don't need to increase your protein. You're probably eating plenty of protein. If you're eating 1 gram per pound of body fat, which you should be if you're weight training. In fact, you could probably, if you're like me and you were on a low carb diet, so most of your calories were coming from proteins and fats, you can probably drop your protein a little bit and slowly add back in those carbs. And I mean slowly, like adding in 20 grams of carbs and maybe, 4 or 5 grams of fat per week, per day. So in this first week, I've been eating between 1,500 and 1,600 calories per day. My low, like peak week low calories was 1,400 calories a day. So I'm upping that by 100 to 200 calories. And then this week, so I haven't gained any weight this week, other than gaining back the water weight that I lost during peak week, which is good. It means that my body's adapting to the calories. And then so this coming week, I'm going to aim for between 1,600 and 1,700 calories. And those additional calories will be coming from carbohydrates and fats. My proteins won't change. So I feel really good about this approach. I'm going to slowly add things back in. I will be having cheat meals every once in a while. So 1 to 2 times per week, and I've reintroduced having wine or 1 to 2 drinks per week at the moment, and just trying to get back to a normal way of living without going overboard. You don't need to spoil yourself. You don't need to eat things just because you can. Yeah, those things are there. You can always eat them, but you don't need them, and it's not good for your body ever. Just because you're not going on stage doesn't mean that you have to go and stuff your face. The other thing that I'm focusing on is the exercise. Last year I was really, really exhausted after the competition. I didn't feel like I had the energy to go and hit the gym, even though I was eating more, because I was feeding my body with the wrong types of foods. It actually had the opposite effect and gave me less energy, and made me feel a little defeated, and I didn't really want to show my face in the gym. So this year I'm tapering off the cardio, so similar to the reverse diet. At the end I was doing 30 to 40 minutes of cardio 6 days a week. So last week I did 5 days at 40 minutes or of 30 to 40 minutes. And this week I'm going to do 4 days of 30 to 40 minutes and then slowly taper off the time, but I'll probably stick to 3 days a week of cardio and around 10 to 15 minutes of high intensity cardio as my normal routine. My weightlifting, on the other hand, I'm doing the opposite because I'm trying to build muscle now and I have a few extra calories, so I can do that. So I've been lifting really heavy this week and I love it. It's great. It's so nice to be back to heavy lifting and big compound moves, because near the end of competition prep I was doing higher reps with lighter weights, and my strength was failing a little bit on me because my calories were pretty low and I was doing a lot of cardio. So it's nice to get back to that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give you guys a little insight into where things are at. I would love to talk about post-competition blues, but I feel like that's a whole nother topic, so maybe I'll write a blog post about it. Yeah, keep chugging along, guys, and eat clean, train dirty, think nerdy. Bye.